This is the DuoLingo supplement video for Dative case lessons 1 through 3. So most of the vocabulary, actually all of the vocabulary that is given in the Dative case lessons are prepositions and article changes. So I didn't put in the vocabulary list the article changes because I go over them later in the guide. But the prepositions we learn in these lessons are as follows. Aus, from, off, made of, or out. Aus. It's a pretty universal preposition. Mit, with, mit. Auf, on top of, auf. Zu, to, or closed. Zu. Nach, after, to, or for. Nach. By, near, among, or at. By. An, at, or on the. An. So, the dative case is basically referring to indirect objects or nouns that follow a dative preposition. An indirect object is the indirect receiver of an action. So, for example, I gave my teacher an apple. I gave the apple, so the apple is the direct object, and then my teacher would be the indirect object because that's who I'm giving the apple to. So that, I hope that kind of clears up what an indirect object is. And like I said earlier about the article changes, just like in the accusative case, the articles for nouns change, and the dative case as well, and they all change. So in the chart in the guide, it explains it, but I'm going to go over it real quick. So the masculine articles in the nominative are der, in the accusative are den, and in dative are dame. Feminine, and the nominative is die, and the accusative is die, and then the dative is der. And the neutral gender, the nominative is das, the accusative is das, and the dative is dame. For plural words, nouns, the nominative article is die, the accusative is die, and the dative is dame. So I mentioned dative prepositions. There are dative prepositions and there are accusative prepositions, and we'll go over prepositions more later. I do believe in section 3 or 4 there is a prepositions lesson. So for now, we'll go over the ones that we've learned today. Most of the ones we learned today are actually dative prepositions. What that means is that regardless of what noun follows and what position it's in the sentence, doesn't matter. The noun that goes with the preposition, making the prepositional phrase, will have a dative article. Doesn't matter. Same with accusative prepositions when we get there. It doesn't matter position, it doesn't matter anything. The article following an accusative preposition or a dative preposition, or an accusative preposition is going to be an accusative article, and a dative following a dative preposition is going to be a dative article. That is pretty straightforward, I feel like. Something else they introduced were contractions, dative contractions. or preposition contractions, I should say. The ones that, the common contractions that you see from these prepositions would be zur, zum, beim, and and basically if you have zu der and then whatever noun, zu der Frau, you can say zur Frau. It's just shorter. It means the same thing. So, and for zu dem Mann, you can say zum Mann, and again, it's just shorter. Bei dem becomes beim, and an dem becomes am. Notice how beim doesn't have one with der, and neither does an. Not entirely sure why, but they don't. So with bei, you can only contract bei dem to become bei, and same with an. You can only contract an with dem to become am. So those are the dative contractions, and that is the dative case, lessons 1 through 3. See you next time.